Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Edith Moloku, an international student in the United States. So today we have a guest with us. His name is Magnus. He's going to introduce himself to us. Magnus is doing his undergraduate studies in nursing over here. For some of you that have been asking me about undergraduate studies, how to apply for undergraduate studies, so Magnus is going to give us all the information that you need, the processes he took. He's going to probably tell us about his visa interview, how he was able to get here. So can you tell us about yourself, like the processes you took before coming to the United States of America, what you did? And I believe you're here for your undergraduate studies, right? So I get so much questions about what to do. How did you do this? How did you apply to get admission for undergraduate studies? So I think you're in the best position to help us. So can you please tell us the processes you took and introduce yourself before you start? Thank you.
Okay, so thanks so much, Edith. And my name is Magnus Otogun Jr., and I am from Port Harcourt, Nigeria, and I'm an undergrad student here at Brigham Young University, Idaho, studying public health nursing. And it's been amazing thus far.
Yeah, that's very cool. So can you tell us about the processes you took, the exams you wrote, how long it took you to get here? So just give us details.
Okay, so, coming for an undergrad studies here in the United States, I would say it's one of the easiest way of applying to come study here as compared to you coming for a graduate study, either a master's program or a PhD or perhaps even an exchange program or something. It has always been my desire to come to study in the USA, and not just coming to the USA to study, but to study at a safe environment, like an environment that is conducive for learning, safe and conducive for learning.
Yeah.
And what I did was that I went onto Google and then I searched universities in the USA with the safest campuses for learning. And then I saw this school which I'm in and two other schools which I applied to. And they were Brigham Young University, Idaho, Brigham Young University in Provo, Utah, and Brigham Young University in Hawaii. So these were the three schools, and there were also some other schools too, like Dixie State University, Massachusetts University, and the rest of them. There were others, but these were the three I chose. Because they were among the high ranking, and this was in 2017. I made this research. So in 2018 January, I began the application process. So how I started was that I went to the school's website, because when you see these schools, you search for it and you will see the university website. So I went to the website and I saw what they had to offer for international students. The international student section is where I went to. And then they outlined what the procedures that one needs to take to even come study on campus. And then there is a section, apply now. So I went to the apply now section, and then that's how it all started. I created my student's net ID, like identification and all that stuff. And then it required me to do some certain things, because the way it works is that you can do something and then save it and then can continue some other time. That's how it works, once you created your net ID and all those things. So what was required from me?
Just like creating your school profile page.
Yes, exactly. That's just how it is. But this one, you're not going to put a profile picture. It's just your normal detail, your house address and those things like that, like basic information about you. So what they required me to do was that I needed to write a standardized test, English-based test for all international students. Are required to write that, either TOEFL or IELTS, and then do an evaluation with either WES, either WES or IERF. So I used IERF, but I think WES is so popular to people and more easy, like more, how will I say user friendly. So the procedure isn't so tedious as that of IERF, but nevertheless I did IERF, and
So can you tell us about the exams?
Okay.
Exams you took?
Okay, the exam I took. So as I said, I took the TOEFL exam, and also there were essays, 2 essays they told me to write.
Okay.
And the essay questions were what has been the challenge that you faced and how were you able to overcome it? And then the second was why did you choose why are you choosing this school, and how will it help you to pursue your career goal? Those were the 2 questions they said I should write an essay about. And it shouldn't be less than 500 words. Yeah, so it wasn't really that long though. Nevertheless, I took my time to write that. I remember that before I submitted that application, I read my essays to my family members, whatever they needed me to correct, I corrected and all that stuff. Yeah, and that's what I did.
So let me get it straight. You wrote your essays, then you wrote your TOEFL. Is there any cutoff mark for the TOEFL? And is it like school dependence for the TOEFL score, the cutoff mark? Okay. So you say you applied to 3 schools. Like the 3 schools, they have their different cutoff mark, or
yes,
they had cutoff mark?
They had different cutoffs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So my school, the average, what you shouldn't score less than is 66. So now, but mind you, it's not really just about, they are not really looking at the 66. They're actually looking at the 4 sections. So TOEFL is divided into 4 sections: reading, writing, speaking, and listening. So you're not to score less than 17 in each of them.
Section.
And it is over 20. So you're not, over 30 rather.
Yeah.
It's over 30. Yeah.
This is over 120.
Yeah. Yes, it's over 30. So you're not to score less than 17. So if you sum everything up,
you guys, for us, graduate studies, someone that scored 80 something is planning on rewriting the exam, and you're here flexing with 66. That's a very cool
well score. Actually this but the one in Provo, I think their own is 80, and then the one in Hawaii is 75. Wow. 76 or 75, thereabouts.
You guys are enjoying.
You get it now. So, but nevertheless, I had 90. So
that's a very
I didn't look at the fact that 66 and then I won't study. I prepared very, very well. In fact, when I had like a week to write my the exams, someone who had written it even volunteered to like do some prep with me and all that stuff. So it's kind of polished me very well. So when I got there, I wrote it, and 10 days after the results came, and I was so happy to see my results.
Yeah, the exam is usually in a center, right? You go to a center.
Yes, a center, and it's 4 hours.
And you need to have your international passport as a gate pass.
Yeah, you need to. You can't, if you want to study abroad, you don't have an international passport, then
you've not started.
You've not started anything. Like anybody that wants to school here, definitely what they should have in mind is to have a valid passport. That's it. Because without it, you can't do anything. So so that's what I did. And then December 11th, remember I said I have started applying in January 2018, and then December 11th of that same year, 2018, I submitted the application.
Okay.
And as of January 2019, 5th of January 2019 to be precise, I received the email that made me so happy.
I knew that
day.
You've been admitted. Congratulations.
You've been accepted.
You've been accepted into the program. Yeah,
exactly.
I know that
for the spring semester of 2019. And I know you may be wondering why. I was admitted in 2019, but why is it that it's now I'm here? So what happened was that I enrolled for a voluntary full-time service. From my church. So I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Some of you may have heard it, and some of you may have seen 2 guys with a tag dressed something like the way I'm dressed.
Really?
I don't know if you may have seen them, but maybe people that will listen or view, they might have met with them. So
I participated in Nigeria.
Well, they are all over Nigeria. They walk in 2s with a tag. With a black tag, so I volunteered to serve, and it is for 2 years. So I started that in November 2018, and then I was to finish November 2020. So now my admission was, I gained admission 2019. So I was in the voluntary service. So because of that, I couldn't come. So I had to write to the school that, oh, this is the case. And in this voluntary full-time service, and I'll be finishing in November 2020. If they can put my admission on hold and like shift it till that time. And they were, the next day they replied. They replied,
and the school is in support of your voluntary.
The school is in support of it. Yeah. So yeah, this was the personal decision I made for myself. Like, I'm not saying that anyone needs to do that, but this is something I decided to do. And I knew that the school would be in support of it because I asked before I submitted my application, like while I'm in the application process, I told them that this is what I want to do. And they were like, oh, it's fine. I can defer and continue afterwards. So I told them of what was happening. And the next day they replied me and said that my admission has been put on hold and will be deferred till for the spring of 2021, spring semester of 2021. So yeah, so this gave me the time to focus on what I was doing. And as of November 2020, I finished my service, came back home, and then continued the whole application process. Yeah. And that day I even returned home on the 9th of November of 2020. I even received an email from the school saying, oh, congratulations on your missionary service or your voluntary service. Oh,
really? Yeah. That's so kind of them.
Yeah. Congratulations. And you've been readmitted for the spring of 2021. Oh. So it's something I was preparing for, looking forward to. I couldn't wait to come on campus.
Yeah, so I want to talk about SATs. Like I've been hearing people talk about SATs, especially if you're going for undergraduate studies. So how come you didn't take the exam? Is there like some schools require it or some schools don't ask of it? So
okay. So everything depends on the school. Most Ivy League schools require SATs. Oh. You get. So the schools I applied to are private, like they are private university, even though they are popular in the states, like they are popular in the states they are in, like here in Idaho, this school is the most popular and like it has the highest number of campus students, like they have a whole lot of students here. So they didn't require that. Oh. But I am to write an exam called ALEKS, ALEKS. So this ALEKS exam is just to test my basic math skills because SAT typically is a math and English exam, So this ALEKS exam, if I take it and I do well in it, I'm not going to take a particular math class next semester. Oh. But if I don't do well, I must take it. So in a way, it's the same thing because I feel I think if you write a SAT exam, you will not necessarily need to take that class, that maths. I think maths one something. Yeah, I've forgotten the course code though, but like, it's a requirement. The ALEKS is a requirement here. Like, if you didn't, and the ALEKS is for those who didn't take SAT. Oh. But if you took SAT, definitely you won't need to write the ALEKS. Oh. You won't need to write the ALEKS. So everything just depends on the school. I even know of schools that don't require standardized tests.
Oh,
just
like
apply normally. They don't even require. Yeah.
Oh, so like, it's just like school specific, like it's specific to different schools. And
I know of a government school in Utah Valley University. It's a state government school, but they don't require standardized tests. Really? Just apply directly, pay your application fee, write the essay, and that's all.
So these standardized tests, do they have like any advantage of you getting scholarships? And is there anything like full tuition when it comes to undergraduate studies?
Is there anything like full tuition? Well, I have not really heard of full tuition for undergrad studies, but my school, like my own school per se, if you take the standardized test and do well, you'll be qualified for a partial tuition waiver. Oh, you get
which is what you currently have.
Yeah, which is something I currently have now.
Okay, and you have to must you take the standardized exams?
Yes, you must. Oh. You must take the standardized exams to gain admission. Yeah, to even gain admission, not even about the scholarship. Let's even leave the scholarship, but you must take the standardized test.
Okay, for your school gain admission. In particular, right?
Yes, for my school in particular, not really because of any scholarship or something. But there are some external scholarships that require standardized tests.
Oh.
Like if you are looking forward to getting an external scholarship, because there are some people that gain external scholarship, and the requirements is that you need to take a standardized test like TOEFL, IELTS, SAT, and all that stuff.
So after getting the admission and everything, so what was the next process for you in getting your visa?
Okay, so after getting the admission, I had to definitely, if you're admitted, you need to get an I-20, and that's what I did. I got my I-20 as of, remember, I came back November 2020, so I finally got my I-20 June, I think middle of June of 2021. So because I couldn't come during the spring, I had to message the school that they should shift my admission till the fall of 2021. And I was like, by the grace of God, I'm going to make it of this fall. Like there won't be any deferring again, or shifting of admission dates and all that stuff. So my admission was shifted for the fall of 2021, and I was to resume 11th September of this year, 2021.
Yeah.
And I got my I-20 in the middle of June. And
Wait, was there any specific thing you submitted for you to get your I-20?
Well,
like do you have to submit like a statement of your statement of account?
There are some certain things you need to do. The school required that you can have, if you're not really getting a fully funded scholarship, the school requires that you can show proof of funding for at least a year of your stay here.
Oh, that's cool.
So yeah, so we did all that, paid for rent. We also paid like the deposit that they required,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, schools, my school required that you paid the international deposits, which is refundable,
in case you change your mind.
Yeah, in case you change your mind, it's refundable. So yeah, I paid the deposit and provided the statement of accounts, and everything was valid. Like it took a week for them to confirm everything, and then they messaged me that my I-20 has been approved and will be sent to me via email. Because of COVID, normally they usually mail it to people's address, but because of COVID, they send it to emails. Emails.
Oh yeah.
As of that, like this time around and all that stuff. So my I-20 was emailed to me, which was signed, and then I printed it. So that was what I used to apply for my visa, like fill my DS-160 and also apply for my visa. Yeah. And then I filled my DS-160 form. It took me a day to do that. I didn't use any agent. I did that myself.
It took me about a month to do mine.
Wow, really?
Or just too careful. I don't want to make any mistake.
Yes, I know, right? But what I did before then, I was watching a whole lot of YouTube videos on how to fill the S-160.
Yeah.
Okay, so I follow the same pattern and procedure. I know everything differs by country. The way the S-160 is being filled in Ghana or India is not the same way it's being done in Nigeria, but it's kind of similar. So I just, I did it myself, just to cut the whole long story short. I filled my DS-160 myself. I applied for my visa myself, went to the bank, the GT Bank, and paid the application, the visa application fee.
Bank.
Yes, it's usually GT Bank. So I went there. Me and my dad went there. He did it for me, and we did it together because it was my passport they needed. So he just paid the money, and after that, June 28th is when I applied for the visa.
Okay.
And then the available date that was there was December 23rd of this year.
Which is far.
Which is far. And remember, my school is supposed to start September 11th. And I was like, what the heck? What's happening? How many more deferments and all that stuff?
Yeah, I think it's the COVID that's contributed to.
Yeah, it was the COVID. Yeah. It was actually the COVID. I never thought that, like, I've been hearing that, many people do emergency appointment and all that, but I didn't know it was that serious until I applied for the visa myself.
Yeah.
And I applied for emergency appointment because they were prioritizing for international students.
Yeah.
The embassy prioritized for them. And I was glad that I was able to apply. Then I stated the reason why I need an available appointment and all that stuff. And then I submitted it. I thought that because most people that I know that applied for emergency appointment, they said it takes 2 to 3 days, highest a week for them to reply. And then I waited 2 to 3 days, no response. A week, no response. 2 weeks, no response. And I was like, what's going on? I sent I wrote emails to the embassy like consistently. They didn't reply until one certain time in the middle of July. I think, July 30th, they replied me and said that my application has been reviewed, and unfortunately, we regret to tell you that it's been denied. Yes, that I should still stick to the December 23rd that I chose.
Wow.
And I was like, wow, that's like, I felt bad.
Yeah.
But good thing, I just went to my visa portal and then I saw I could reapply again. I was like, oh, wow, interesting. I was happy. So this time around, I had to write, when reapplying for the emergency appointment, I had to even write to them. I added that I really need this available date because it's been affecting me psychologically and mentally. Like, I had to add some emotions to it because actually, like, it was really mentally draining. It was 1 month. It took 1 month, like, for them to reply me the first time before it was denied. But that 1 month looked like forever.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I reapplied again eventually, and then as of August 25th, it was on a Friday. I was so happy. I received an email. Was it on a Friday? August 25th, well, whatever. August 25th of this year, I received an email from them saying that, it's been reviewed and they are happy to tell me, like, congratulations, it's been approved, like, my emergency appointment has been approved. I should go to my portal and then choose a date. What was written in the email was that after, like, they have so many applications, thousands of applications each day. So they were like, the only spot that they left available for me was September.
Yeah, which is better than the...
Yeah. And then I remember the embassy even saying that I should possibly write to the school if they can shift my start date to like October, because, my school was supposed to resume 11. So like the embassy could understand. So I was like, well, that's fine. When I went to my visa portal, I saw that I had available dates for 2nd of September, 7th, down to the ending of September. Like, throughout the month of September, there were dates available. So I was just contemplating, should I choose 2nd or 7th?
Yeah.
And, good thing. Thanks for all the impressions I had and all that. I spoke with my mom about it and spoke with my dad, and everyone encouraged that I should just go for 2nd. And then I went for 2nd of September eventually. And then, I was just preparing towards that time. Now, I just had few days, August 25th. I just had very few time to to prepare for my interview. But although I've been preparing all this period of waiting for reply from the embassy, I've been preparing for my interview.
So how have you been preparing? Were there people that helped you out, all the stuff?
Yeah, so my way of preparation was I watched a whole lot of YouTube videos. I watched so much YouTube videos. And I also came across yours, and there was something you said there that stood out to me, where you said, regardless of everything, just be positive.
Yeah.
Be positive, and, definitely if it will work out, it's going to work out. When you said that, it's just like I had goose pimples on me, chills.
Yeah.
Well, I say I watched it with all of my heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was just what I was having at the back of my mind, So I even went to Nairaland. Nairaland has some kind of scripts, like, will I say transcripts or of past experiences, people that have gone for visa interview and how the whole thing turned out and the rest of them. So another way I was also preparing was to look out for the reasons why some visas are denied, student visas are denied, so that when it gets to, like, during my time, I would avoid everything that would make my visa to be denied. So those are the ways I prepared.
Okay.
And shout out to Emmanuel Onwuka and Olani Hamed Akorede, who are also students here. I reached out to them,
and they served as your VO.
They served as my VO. Like, they did a mock interview for me, like a day before my interview, and it really, really helped out. It really, really worked. Like, it was of great benefit to me. And good thing, the consulate I chose was Lagos. I chose Lagos after much consideration and everything. my parents suggested, and even me too, like I just felt that Lagos would be the perfect place to go.
Yeah, there's usually a confusion about should I go to
Lagos,
Abuja
Abuja,
embassy, should I go to Lagos, which one is more favorable and all those things. So
yeah, exactly. So I went to Lagos. Me and my dad decided the plan was that I would go alone. But my dad was like, okay, he insisted along the line, he just insisted that he would join me, and then we went. And then on the day of the interview, after
the D-Day.
Yeah, on the D-Day. My time was for 10. My time was for 10:30. Okay. So I got there before 6 a.m. I got there before 6 a.m. And everything worked to my favor because it rained heavily, and that kind of reduced the crowd. Like, we're not even up to 70 there. We're not so much.
But if you ask, I don't think people did not come because of the rain. I don't think it has to do with the weather.
I won't really say it has to do with
because
weather,
no one will miss their interview because of the weather.
Yeah, definitely. I think it had to do with the time. I think lots of people, their time was for 10. So maybe they just wanted to come like 9
or maybe maybe.
Yeah, so we're not that much. As I said earlier, we're not that much. And then I got there after a series of searching, the whole process.
Yeah.
I got in. What I didn't like about the searching was the fact that I pulled off my belt. I was like, are we in an airport or something? But that's just to tell you how serious
security tight.
With the security and all that. Then I got into the place. There were like 4 counters. I don't know whether it's being called a counter though, but like those of us, that know this know what I'm talking about. Like, it's like a bank.
Like a cubicle, something.
It's like a bank where there's just this glass that separates you and the visa officer. So I got in, thumb printed to show that I am present there. And then I was just waiting for my turn, standing in the queue, following the queue like that. And then at first there were 3 visa officers, and then later on the 4th person came. So starting from the right end was a white American, the next was a black American, the next was a white, black or Indian American, and then the rest, the last person was a white American guy. And they looked nice. They were not so like they really want to hear what you have to say when they ask a question. I saw that they were patient. They were not like, oh, if you don't know what to say, then they just give you the blue paper or pink paper and then just tell you some other time. But they were really willing to listen to you. And if maybe like you are stammering or something, they'll be like, okay, calm down and all that stuff. So I was like, well, these people seem to be nice. So anyone, it's fine. And I wasn't really picky. Like, I wasn't like praying in my mind that, oh, this person should interview me. I was like, anybody, I think if it will work out for me, to work. So eventually I was interviewed by the Indian American guy. He's somehow black. You know how Indians look like now. So, a guy was interviewed before me, but he was denied, apparently. But I didn't allow that get to me, because I know that everybody's story is different. Then it got to my turn, and the first question he asked me is, why are you here? Why are you here? That was the first question. And if you're not careful, that question can throw you off balance.
Yeah, of course. And those people that cram, they will not even remember what they crammed.
Yes, exactly.
Because those people go there cramming answers.
Can you imagine? So, and it's not good to cram.
It's
just
not
prepare.
Good to cram.
Know what to expect, but don't cram. Because if you cram and you are being asked a question you didn't expect it,
you'll be like, well, I did not study for this question. Meanwhile, something can just answer. Well, as in, you just come to the embassy and they ask you, what are you doing here?
Why are you here? Exactly. So, but as God will have it, the person that shout out once again to Olani Hamed Akorede. That was the first question he even asked me in the mock, like when we had a mock session. And then I gave him an answer, and it was like, oh, the answer is okay, but I think you can just liken it to this. So when, in the real setting, when the visa officer asked me why am I here, I told him, oh, I am here to get my F1 visa, which will enable me to go to Brigham Young University, Idaho, for my undergrad studies in public health nursing. And I was like, okay, why did you choose this school? I told him why I chose the school. I didn't just say, oh, the school is nice. I told him specifically that the school's campus, the university campus, is one of the safest in America. and I would love to learn in a safe and conducive environment. Okay. And also the nursing program is ranked among the best in the United States. And okay, it was like, all right. He just nodded his head, or he nodded his head, and he was like, okay, who will be my sponsor? I told him my father will be sponsoring my education for my 4-year stay here in the US. I specifically mentioned the 4-year stay, to let him know that,
you're coming back.
I'm specifically here for my studies. That is an indirect way of showing home ties.
Exactly.
So after that, he was like, okay, what does your father do? And then I mentioned where he works. I mentioned his profession and where he works. Okay. And he was like, okay, that's like the federal government. I said, yes, it's the federal government. Okay. Then he nodded his head, and then he muted the mic because, as I said, it's a glass. You won't really hear them. So there is a kind of speaker that there is a mic in front of them that when they talk, there is a speaker you'd use to hear them. And when you talk, they would hear you. There's a speaker in their end. So he muted it and then went to meet another visa officer and was asking something. He showed him my I-20 and they were just talking about it, nodding their head and all that. But I think I could hear when he was asking about the school or something.
Trying
and
to
then
confirm something.
he was just trying to confirm, I think, about the school itself, because maybe he has not heard of that school before or heard of the school before. Actually, there are so many schools in the US, so you might not really know all. So when he came back, he was talking, but I wasn't hearing. So I had to knock on the screen. I was like, oh, I'm not hearing you. And he was like, oh, I'm sorry about that. And then he unmuted the mic and he was like, okay, is this a government or private institution? I think he just wanted to confirm if I knew. So I told him it's a private university. It's private university. I was like, okay. When do I anticipate to travel? I told him I hope to travel before 11 September because my start date is 11 September. I was like, okay, I'll be approving your visa. I hope you have a nice experience in your school and a nice travel and all that. So I was just so happy. Then gave me, I felt good. I felt like my effort really, really paid off. My effort wasn't a waste.
It was as if I was just pinching myself. Am I the one?
Honestly, I felt good. I felt like yes, finally, he gave me that white paper, and as I was walking out, it was like I was a celeb. Everybody was like, congrats. One lady was like, oh, I have a daughter there. Oh, she's this, she's that. They were just talking, and I could see everyone was just happy for me. They didn't know me, but they were just happy for me and all that. I felt good. My dad was waiting in the car. And then when I got to him, he was like, because I didn't keep an excited face that. I just kept a normal face, I wanted to kind of surprise him. Junior, it was like, Junior, did they give you the visa? I was like, oh yeah, they gave me. And then I showed him the right. I was like, seriously. My dad read everything when I was in the right place. I was like seriously, they gave you this. Then he shook my hand. I was like, congratulations. His friend that he was with also was like, congratulations. They were all happy for me. And then right there and then, my dad called my mom. I was like, oh, they gave it to him. And I never knew that my mom with my younger ones, they sacrificed that day just for my sake, just hoping and having faith for me,
I understand that feeling.
Yeah, exactly. So they were so happy. They were so happy for me. And that was how I got my visa. And that's how my visa was approved. And right there and then, that evening, me and my dad, we booked the flight tickets. We used Qatar Airways.
That was the airway I took.
Yeah, we used Qatar Airways. And my flight was for 10th of September. So I left on the 10th. I came here on the 11th. I came here on the program start date. I came here on the 11th. It was on a Saturday. Cool.
So concerning the visa interview, is there anything you notice, in case you did not go with everything, the required things to come with?
Okay, so to those that
for them.
I think to those that are going for their visa interview, all I can just say is prepare, be calm, and when you get there, you would meet people like touts. Will I call them touts or something? Like people who print, they'll be like, oh, the S160, they need to stamp, they need to do this
Yes,
and all that.
exactly. And they will charge you.
Yeah, like if you're not careful, they will catch you. Like if you're not careful, you'll be a scapegoat.
Yeah,
Is that the word
and
I should use or
something
something?
maybe something you're supposed to photocopy for 100 naira.
Exactly.
Yes. They will charge you like 5,000, 1,000.
5,000.
Oh.
You know, like you will spend money you didn't plan for.
Yeah.
Because if that is the only printing or business center around there.
Yeah,
because
you don't have
it's a military based area. So that is the only print what they call it. That's the only business center around there. And there are no business center around, even if you say you want to go out. So you have no choice than to just patronize them.
Yeah, and it's advisable.
A lot of money.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's
advisable you go with everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's advisable you go with every document, like to support what you are saying. Like me now, I remember one other question they asked me was, I see that you graduated at high school in 2016. So they were like, why the gap?
Yeah.
You get it now. So I explained to them about the voluntary service. In fact, I even had a certificate
to show for that
of completion, but they didn't ask for it, so I didn't show. But every single, thing that was to say, like I had supporting document for it. So I advise that everybody's story is different. Everybody's story is different. So just prepare, get the necessary documents you need. Even if it is excess, it's better you are with everything, every supporting document that, when you get there and you see that, your visa is denied, it's just because of one documentation that they asked of. Then, it's something you will not want to experience. A very, very bad feeling.
Yeah.
Come and start spending extra money again and all that. So just carry every document you need. That's what I advise.
And it's advisable to go with someone because they don't
allow with someone. They don't allow phones or electronics in. So as I said, I came with my dad and alongside my dad's friend, and I gave my phone to him. And
during I didn't have any family member that could follow me. So what I did was, there are people that hang around for them to hold your phone, which is risky as well.
It's very risky.
I didn't have a choice, but you have to pay 1,000 naira just for them to hold your phone.
Wow.
And when you come, you pick it up with them. But it's actually risky, but it's advisable to go with someone that will
go with somebody, exactly. All embassies worldwide. That's just how they operate. Like the US embassies worldwide, you aren't to go into any electronic device, So I came with my dad and then I dropped my phone with him. So that's what happened, and here I am.
So we are going to be having a part 2 of this content where you'll be telling us about your experience so far since you arrived to the United States. So thank you for sharing your experience with us. I mean, your experience right from Nigeria to where you are now. So we are going to see in the part 2. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.